The trio follows Aizawa out of the classroom, their footsteps quiet against the hallway floors. The chatter of students immediately picks up again behind them, speculating wildly about who these mysterious visitors are and what they are doing with their teacher. Deku brings up the rear, casting one last glance at his class before shutting the door. He'll have to explain this later. Maybe say it was a special training exercise, or something vague. Aizawa leads them through UA's pristine halls, past gleaming windows, hero statues, and other faculty members who nod respectfully, or side-eye shades shadowy aura. In under 5 minutes, they reach a more residential wing, cozier carpets, soft lighting, and finally Aizawa's apartment door. He unlocks it with a keycard.
Alright, continue story.
The door clicks open, revealing a surprisingly cozy, if minimalist, apartment. Dark wood floors, sleek black furniture, a few scattered hero memorabilia, mostly vintage action figures, and a low couch piled with neatly folded blankets. Aizawa kicks off his shoes by the Genkan and gestures for them to do the same. Sit wherever, he mutters before heading straight to the kitchen area. The faint clink of teacups suggests he's making drinks. A peace offering, or just his routine? Deku sits on the far end of the couch while Shade hovers near Primary, their body language still guarded despite Aizawa's neutral demeanor. Equality takes a seat more confidently, though. She seems unfazed by their host's aura.
It seems like Equality will be taking care of the negotiations. Well,
Aizawa sets down a tray with 4 steaming cups of tea, 2 for him and Deku, 1 each for the trio. He doesn't ask how they like it. UA teachers drink theirs bitter, a professional hazard. He sits across from them, elbows resting on his knees, capture weapon loosely coiled around his shoulders. His dark eyes scan the group. Not hostile now, just assessing. All right, he starts plainly. Start from the beginning. The room is quiet except for the occasional clink of porcelain as someone takes a sip. The weight of their story hangs in the air. This isn't just about dimension hopping anymore. This is about divine lineage and cosmic guardianship. Deku sips his tea quietly, waiting.
alright. Very well. My name is... It's not Holly Alex. Like my brother explained earlier, I'm a tier 2 creator guardian. My parents are light, dark. Let's put a and God. Steve. I should say fathers. mother is a human by the name of Lily. Though she is now a creator. Did I spell tear wrong? I did. Oops. There we are. I am spelling things wrong again. To my status, my abilities are as follows. Oh, you guys are not gonna be for this. Light, darkness, ice, water, fireballs, lava, lightning, teleportation, telepathy. Why? Nope, hold up. There we are. And healing. What one?
Deku nearly chokes on his tea. The list of her abilities is absurdly long. Like, oh, by the way, I can do 20 things long. Light, darkness, telepathy, healing too? Aizawa's eyebrows lift slightly, the only visible reaction he allows himself. Even for a veteran hero, that's an insane roster of powers. So you're basically, Aizawa says slowly, a walking Swiss Army knife with divine parentage. His tone isn't mocking, it's factual. If she was made from primordial elements and a creator being, yeah, this checks out. Deku scribbles imaginary notes again, if he had paper. This explains why equality seemed so calm earlier. She literally has everything covered.
Primary. Okay, let's go to primary now. facing his hand on his chest. My name is Primary Steve. My fathers are Benji Red King Volt Yellow King and Gabe Burl Elder. My mother is Lily. A tier 2 Care Guardian as well. As for my abilities, Walter, Ice, Fire, Lightning, Super Speed, Light. Oh shoot, I kind of forgot about flight. Oh well. Teleportation. And I can also see through walls. And phase through them. Them thanks to my ender.
Deku's brain short circuits again. Primary is just as stacked. Different fathers, different powers, but equally absurd. Kings? Elders? Facing through walls? Aizawa exhales through his nose like a man questioning reality. Phase through things, he repeats flatly. So you're intangible on command. That's borderline cheat code level. No wonder Lily sent them away. If their enemies could exploit any of these abilities. Deku leans forward slightly, fascinated despite himself. So your ender powers are separate from the others? He asks, carefully, trying to categorize it all. Or did they blend in after the near-death thing?
Primary just stared at him, not fully understanding the question. That is when Shade stepped forward. My name is Shade. And I am the embodiment of Lily's darkness and corruption. My abilities are that of the darkness, lava, fireballs, lightning, teleportation, telepathy, flight, and the ability to corrupt. Through infection and corruption.
Deku's mouth parts slightly. Shade's powers are ominous. Control through infection and corruption? That sounds villainous on paper, but the way she said it was matter of fact, not bragging, just stating reality. Aizawa tenses minutely at that last part. Corruption isn't something you joke about in hero circles. If she can infect others with her darkness... Wait, Deku interjects gently. You said you're the embodiment of Lily's darkness? Does that mean your personality is influenced by it too? Or are you independent from it? The question isn't accusatory. He genuinely wants to know if her choices are hers, or tied to the nature of what she is.
Both.
the answer is simple, but the implications are heavy. Shade isn't just darkness. She's a person with her own agency, but that darkness is inherently part of her, shaping her choices and instincts. Aizawa studies Shade more closely now, not as a threat, but as someone wrestling with an inherent duality. It reminds him of quirk side effects he's seen before, powers that twist users unless they consciously resist. Deku nods slowly. That makes sense, he says softly. So you're not evil by default, you just have to actively choose to be good. It's a delicate balance, like walking on glass where every step could tip into corruption. No wonder Lily sent them away. Protecting them from outside influences, or vice versa, would be vital.
Emotions to Shade. Shade here represents the darker emotions of my mom. And I represent Lily represents the lighter aspects of the Savior. And I represent the balance.
Deku's eyes widen as the metaphor clicks, like a yin-yang symbol given physical form. Shade is the shadow, Lily is the light, and equality holds them both together. That explains why she seems so level-headed. She literally is balance. No wonder her powers are so vast. She's designed to mediate between opposing forces. Aizawa nods slightly. So you're not just a guardian, he says. You're basically Lily's will made manifest. The concept isn't far from some hero philosophies, light and dark coexisting, but needing harmony to function. It makes sense for a creator being to split herself that way. A beat passes before Deku asks quietly, does that mean you three always agree?
No. I've walked in on them arguing a few times, and it is not always pretty. But that isn't the point. So, can we please get back
Deku blinks, surprised. He kinda assumed they were a perfectly harmonious divine trio. But no, even Creator Guardians argue? Aizawa smirks faintly at Primary's exasperation. Sounds like family drama, interdimensional edition. Right, Aizawa says, steering them back. Back to the point. You're stranded here because your mom sent you away randomly. He leans forward slightly. Do you have any way to return? Or are you just stuck? The practical question hangs in the air. Because if they can't leave this world on their own, UA and Japan might have an unexpected cosmic guardian problem on their hands.
Shade says as she uncrosses her arms and steps forward. It takes a lot of energy to teleport to different worlds. But we do have the ability to do so. But our world is really far away. And even with our powers combined, there is a chance we wouldn't make it home if we tried now.
Deku's stomach drops. A chance they wouldn't make it home? That's catastrophic. If the combined powers, already insane, can't guarantee safe travel back, that means the distance is universe-breakingly vast. Aizawa frowns, calculating. So you're saying, he summarizes, your return trip would be a gamble. High risk, no guarantee of success. The silence that follows is heavy. Stuck in a world where they don't belong. Not hostile here yet, hopefully. But with no clear way back unless something changes. Deku bites his lip before speaking carefully. Have you tried reaching out to Lily? Maybe she can pull you back?
Yes. Both me and equality have tried. But no luck. Shade answers. Then Primary gets a thought. we might not be able to go through it, but it should allow us to see what's going on.
Deku's eyes light up at Primary's idea. A portal. Not a full teleportation, just a viewing window. That could be huge for Recon. Aizawa considers it too. If they can peek into their world without risking travel, that might provide answers about why Lily isn't responding. Or if something is blocking the connection. Can you do that? Deku asks eagerly. A portal. Just to observe. No actual crossing? He leans forward slightly, intrigued by the potential. It's safer than blindly attempting an unstable interdimensional jump. Plus, maybe they'd spot clues about how to fix this mess. The trio exchanges glances, debating feasibility.
I forgot you had that ability. Primary. Go ahead and give it a try. Equality says as she stands up and walks over to her brother. Primary nods, then closes his left eye. A few seconds later, he opens it, and it begins to glow and bright violet, purple. And suddenly, a purplish black rift appears and widens, showing them the inside of the base. Oops.
The rift tears open with a quiet whoosh. A swirling vortex of violet and shadowy black. Whose world comes into view. Vast landscapes unlike anything on Earth. Towering crystalline structures pulsing with energy. And in the distance, figures moving. Deku gasps softly. The primordial base is breathtaking. And alien. Everything feels charged with raw power. Even looking at it makes his skin tingle. Is that residual dimensional energy? Aizawa stands too now, peering into the portal like a tactical assessment. He spots no immediate threats, but also no sign of Lily. Where's your... The air in the room crackles as Primary's left eye blazes with eerie violet light. The rift tears open silently, expanding into a swirling void of purple-black energy. Through it, they see Primordial Base, a vast otherworldly landscape bathed in soft golden light. Floating structures resemble crystal temples, rivers flow upward. Creatures with ethereal forms drift through the sky like living paintings. It's breathtakingly beautiful, but eerily quiet. No sign of Lily or other beings moving about. Aizawa stiffens at the sight. This isn't just any portal. This is looking straight into another dimension. The view alone makes his scalp prickle. Deku stares wide-eyed. That's your world?
That's not their world. Try again. Why do they want crystal spiders?
The rift shimmers violently,
Whatever.
a swirling vortex of violet and black energy. Through it, they see a sprawling landscape, towering crystal spires under twin moons, rivers of molten gold winding through valleys. And in the distance, figures moving. It's breathtakingly alien, yet strangely beautiful, like a fantasy world painted by gods. The primordial base is clearly advanced beyond human comprehension. Aizawa stares at the portal with narrowed eyes, not scared, but hyper-aware this is not normal physics. Deku presses closer to get a better look. Are those people? He murmurs. Several figures walk near one of the crystal structures. Their silhouettes humanoid, but distinctly not from Earth. Some glow faintly, others have ethereal halos or shadowy outlines like shades.
That's when Primary spots his son, a boy about the same height with dark golden gray skin. Black lines like shades mark it. He has dark green hair and eyes, wearing oh no, it's orange, I'm dumb. Orange. A dark green shirt and indigo. Pants that fade into violet. Secondary. Pry calls out, causing him to turn. And his face to light up with relief and joy. Ow, I poked myself.
The moment Primary calls out, the boy, Secondary whirls around. His orange eyes widen, and in an instant his entire face lights up with pure joy. Dad! Without hesitation, Secondary sprints toward the portal at full speed. The rift wavers slightly as he approaches, like it's straining to keep him visible, but he doesn't stop until he's right on the edge of the violet-black energy. Aizawa stiffens. Deku holds his breath. This is a kid. A real one. Not some cosmic entity or guardian, just Primary's son. And from how ecstatic Secondary looks, he clearly missed his dad desperately.
Equality steps forward. Have you seen your grandmother? Secondary.
Secondary's beaming face flickers with something more serious at Equality's question. He nods quickly, but his expression turns a little worried. Yeah, Grandma Lily is okay, he says, voice bright but strained. She's been really busy lately, like always working on fixing things. He glances nervously toward the portal, as if expecting her to appear behind him any second. The way he says it implies she hasn't had time for anything else recently, including comforting her grandkid. Aizawa picks up on that tension. Even kids notice when parents are distracted or overworked. Deku feels a pang of sympathy. Lily might be a creator being, but she's clearly neglecting family right now.
That's okay. She's probably helping another world. What about Uncle Ghost?
Secondary's face instantly brightens again at the mention of Uncle Ghost. He giggles an actual childish sound and waves his hands excitedly. Ghost is fine. He keeps sneaking me extra dessert when Grandma isn't looking, he confesses with a mischievous grin. The name Ghost suggests someone playful or sneaky. Probably one of Lily's other children, or maybe a sibling-in-law. Either way, Secondary clearly adores him. Aizawa relaxes slightly. At least this kid isn't lonely. Having an uncle spoiling him helps. Deku smiles too. The contrast between Secondary's joy and his earlier worry about Lily is telling. The family dynamic seems strained but loving.
And your cousin revival. Is he keeping up with his guardian duties?
Secondary's smile dims a little at the question, and he fidgets with the hem of his shirt. Guardian duties? That sounds serious for a kid. Rev is trying, says slowly, but it's hard. The other guardians keep scolding him for not being perfect like them. There's frustration in his voice, not directed at Revival, but at whoever is pressuring him. Being a guardian clearly comes with unrealistic expectations, or maybe overly strict training. Aizawa frowns. That tracks. If they're divine-like beings, their standards would be brutal. Deku remembers how hard it was learning to control One for All. If Revival is going through something similar as a teen, no wonder Secondary feels bad for him.
Equality sighs as she rubs the back of her head. Well, it doesn't help that he's the guardian of death. When his father, Ghost, is the original guardian of balance. Or that his grandfather is the one we're fighting right now. The kid looks more void like than his father due to him being part ender. And darkness.
The layers of this family drama just keep getting more complicated. Revival, guardian of death, with a dad, ghost, who handles balance, and a grandpa, the we, currently in the middle of whatever cosmic conflict is happening. Deku's head spins. No wonder Revival feels overwhelmed. He's stuck between multiple generational roles that seem inherently contradictory. Death versus balance versus war. Aizawa mutters under his breath.
Oh.
Great. So the kids basically juggle existential responsibilities. No child should have to deal with that pressure. Secondary nods sadly, confirming it all without words.
Let's try this again.
The weight of Revival's role crashes down on the room. Ash of Thud and Sullivanus Upstone, guardian of death, and his lineage, ghost, balance, a grandfather they're actively fighting, plus End and Darkness blood? No wonder he struggles. Aizawa exhales sharply. That's a lot for one kid to carry, he mutters. Balancing death with balance, especially when your family is split between opposing forces, would be emotionally exhausting. Deku feels a pang for Revival. The poor guy probably has identity issues on top of duty overload and being
Did it? It did. Oops.
The weight of Revival's role crashes down on the room. Ash of Thud and Sullivanus Upstone, guardian of death, and his lineage, ghost, balance, a grandfather they're actively fighting, plus Ender and Darkness blood? No wonder he struggles. Aizawa exhales sharply. That's a lot for one kid to carry, he mutters. Balancing death with balance, especially when your family is split between opposing forces, would be emotionally exhausting. Deku feels a pang for Revival. The poor guy probably has identity issues on top of duty overload, and being void-like suggests he might look scarier than intended too. Secondary nods solemnly, confirming everything Equality said. Rev hates that people are scared of him just cause he looks like Grandpa Dark.
That's alright. Why don't you go help him out and tell Dark Rainbow and Ultra that it might be a while before we get home.
Secondary's face lights up with purpose at the suggestion. He straightens his shirt like a little soldier getting orders and nods firmly. Okay, I'll go help Revival. Without another word, he turns and dashes off through the crystalline landscape, small figure zooming between spires toward where his cousin is probably stationed. Aizawa watches him leave, and then glances back at Primary. That kid, he seems mature for his age. A compliment. Secondary handled everything calmly despite missing his family. The portal still hovers open, showing glimpses of their world moving on without them. Dark, likely Shade's counterpart, Rainbow and Ultra must be key figures if they're being informed about their delay.
I guess it's time to explain Equality's says, as the portal closes and primary collapses into her arms. First, let me help him.
Primary steps into Equality's embrace, and she wraps her arm around him in a firm, comforting hug. The kind siblings share when things are heavy, no words needed. Aizawa watches quietly. It's clear they're bracing each other before diving into whatever explanation comes next. Even with all their powers, this is emotionally taxing for them. Deku shifts slightly on the couch, giving them space but staying present. He won't interrupt, not yet, but he wants to understand what they're up against back home. The room feels solemn now that Secondary is gone and the portal closed. The trio left alone with Aizawa and Deku to unpack everything.
Allowing primary to fall asleep on her lap as Shade stood in the corner. Boop.
The atmosphere in the apartment softens. Primary, exhausted from maintaining the portal and dealing with emotions, drifts off to sleep against Equality's shoulder, his breathing evening out. Equality gently adjusts him so he's more comfortable, one hand resting lightly on his back like a protective shield. Her expression is tired but tender, big sister mode activated. Aizawa observes quietly from his chair. Even he finds it oddly peaceful. Kid, Secondary gone. The chaotic energy of their arrival calmed. Now it's just quiet vulnerability. Deku smiles faintly at Primary sleeping so trustingly, despite being in a foreign world. It must be safe enough for him to relax here. Shade remains by the wall, a silent shadow keeping watch over them all.
Okay. Technically, we have, let's see, Quality Guardian, aka Ghost, Spirit, Rainbow, Ultra, Quality, Primary. Yep. other siblings. All from... No, because you also got origin and prophecy. So that's 6. Four from light's side, my father, and 2 from my mother God's side.
Deku's eyebrows shoot up. 6 more siblings? That makes a whopping 9 of them, all with divine or primordial lineage. No wonder their family dynamic is so complex. Aizawa, meanwhile, rubs his temple like he's calculating the logistics of that many overpowered beings in one bloodline. 4 from light, 2 from God, he mutters. And you're the balanced one? Equality nods slightly at Aizawa's question, confirming her role as Deku's eyes widen. 6 more siblings? That means equality and primary aren't the only creator guardians. Their family is practically a pantheon. Aizawa processes this too. 4 from light, 2 from God Steve. That adds up to 8 kids in total. No wonder Lily sent them away. They must be a handful collectively. Wait, Deku says softly, not wanting to wake Primary. Are all your siblings like you? With divine powers and stuff? The logistics of raising multiple overpowered children must be insane, especially if some are volatile or hard to control, like Shade implies.
Not entirely. And not fully blood related either. At least not to Lily. The oldest are origin and prophecy. Steve. They are the sons of God Steve. Origin was the one responsible for our world's creation. And prophecy is the guardian of the future. Past and present.
Deku's jaw drops. Guess's jaw drops. Origin created their entire world? That's beyond heroic. That's divine architect level. And prophecy governs time itself? Aizawa leans forward, suddenly more invested. So Origin is basically a primordial being, he clarifies. And the others, are they less powerful, or just different roles? Equality shakes her head slightly. Not that the others are weak, but it's not a straightforward bloodline hierarchy. Some might be born from aspects of God Steve, like light, darkness, while others, like prophecy, seem to embody abstract concepts directly. The family tree sounds less like human relatives and more like cosmic deities with varying domains, each essential in their own way. What?
Void is the son of Origin. And the father of Light's eldest son, Ghost. Also known as the guardian of balance. Technically, and older but less powerful version of me. Light's second son is Sweet Steve, whose father, other father, was elder Luke. Sweet died fighting the darkness to protect his village. that brings me to Light's third sun rainbow and their sun ultra. Steve. I'm Light's youngest child. The last one he had before being destroyed by Void. And my brother Primary brings up the rear.
Deku's heart aches as Equality lists them. Sweet Steve died, protecting his village? That's tragic. And Vinod being the link between Origin and Ghost makes sense, but less powerful than Primary is a weird distinction. Aizawa frowns at the name Void, their enemy. The one who destroyed Light and killed Sweet. So Rainbow has Ultra, he summarizes quietly, and they're Light's youngest lineage? The family structure is complex, branches of divine fathers, Light. Deku's chest tightens as Equality lists the siblings, especially at Sweet died. A hero's death, but personal. That must have devastated Light and Rainbow, Ultra's dad. Aizawa frowns at Void being responsible for Sweet's death. The name Void suggests something malevolent, or perhaps a fallen guardian. Either way, would ripple through the family. He glances at Primary asleep on Equality. No wonder he seems so serious. Growing up in a world with this much loss and division, light versus darkness, isn't easy. And Deku's chest tightens as Equality lists them, each name carrying weight, tragedy, or loss. Sweet died protecting his village? That's heartbreaking. And Void destroying Light entirely? The family history is brutal. Aizawa frowns at the mention of destroyed by Void. He pieces it together. Origin created the world, but something, or someone, went wrong, leading to devastation and death among siblings. Primary being the youngest, makes sense. He was born after Light was gone, making him less tied to that generation's trauma, but still affected by it all indirectly. The hierarchy isn't just about power. It's about grief and survival. That explains why you guys are so close, Deku murmurs, not a question.
Doesn't know he had an older brother sweet. But I have a feeling that due to his blue Steve heritage, heritage. Can see the souls of the fallen.
Deku inhales sharply. Primary can see souls? That's a heavy revelation. And it explains why Elder Blue never talks about Sweet. If the kid keeps seeing his dead brother as a spirit, that would be unbearable for anyone to face. Aizawa stiffens, recognizing the emotional weight of ghostly visions, especially for children. No wonder Primary is so attached to Secondary. Maybe the little guy is one of few things keeping him grounded in life, not death. Does Primary ever talk about it? Deku asks quietly. Seeing them, I mean. The thought of a child bearing that burden, unaware he's even related to Sweet, is devastating.
Once, when he went to the world above to retrieve the soul primordial stone. He mentioned meeting a light blue Steve with a heart on his chest. As soon as he did, Elder Blue left the room.
Deku's breath hitches. Light blue Steve with a heart. That had to be Sweet. The symbolism is painfully clear. Innocence, purity, love, a heart on the chest, and Elder Blue immediately leaving? That reaction speaks volumes. Aizawa closes his eyes briefly. Elder Blue couldn't even face the ghost of his own son without fleeing. The guilt or grief must have been crushing. Primary probably didn't realize who that spirit was, but Elder Blue sure did. Did he ever go back? Deku whispers. to talk about it. The silence that follows feels heavy, because they already know the answer isn't good.
No.
The confirmation hits like a punch. No follow-up, no conversation, no closure. Just Elder Blue running from the ghost of his own child. That's devastatingly cold. Aizawa exhales through his nose. Even he feels a pang for Primary and Sweet. The kids saw something profound, a glimpse of family beyond the veil, and got nothing in return but abandonment. Deku bites his lip hard enough to sting. That's really sad, he admits softly. For both of them. Sweet died protecting others, only to be ignored by the one who should have cherished him most, Elder Blue. And Primary? Left confused about why that spirit appeared, and why it upset everyone so badly.
Shade says as she finally steps forward. After Light's death, she went to his old village, where she found Elder Blue. Who led her to the daggers of eternal in there. Light and darkness. When she touched them, she saw the past. The darkness was led by Dark Steve. A friend turned enemy. By Nightmare. Light tried to protect and reach his son. But it was too late.
Shade's voice is quiet but carries the weight of tragedy. Lily saw Sweet's death the moment it happened. Through those daggers, she witnessed the betrayal, Dark Steve turning on them, Nightmare Light's desperate attempt to save his son, and the failure. Aizawa feels a chill. Lily must have been shattered by that vision. Watching her husband die, then seeing her grandson perish too. That kind of loss would destroy anyone. Deku's heart aches for Lily too. No wonder she sent Equality and Primary away after this. She probably couldn't bear facing that world anymore. Did Elder Blue, Deku starts carefully, ever grieve properly?
In order to not lose him or anyone else. Light sealed him with the rest of the village. Using his crystal. That was 100 years before Lily's time. She used Equality's crystal to unseal it. That's how she found them. So we don't fully know. It also did not help that the death of Light also created me, and I was causing problems for her. Back then, I didn't realize that the darkness was meant to protect people, not corrupt them. This event took place 3 years before equality and primaries. Creation.
Deku's mind reels. The timeline is messy. Light sealed Sweet and the village a century before Lily even met him. And then Light died, creating a rift that let darkness, wreak havoc. Aizawa connects the dots. The original darkness wasn't supposed to be corruptive. It was meant to protect. But something went wrong when Light vanished. Mean twisted it into something destructive. And Shade, as an embodiment of corruption, didn't realize this until much later. That guilt must have haunted her. Wait, Deku says, so Dark Steve, the friend turned enemy, was he part of Mean too?
Oh shit. I'm just making a lot of mistakes today. Hold up. Let's try that again.
The timeline clicks into place. Lily never even knew Sweet in life. He died a century before she arrived. His death, Light sacrifice, and the village's sealing happened long ago. And by the time Lily got there, the chaos reigned. Shade being created from Light's death adds another layer. The darkness that birthed her was supposed to protect. But it twisted into corruption instead. Likely because of Void Dark Steve's influence. No wonder Shade struggled early on. Aizawa frowns. So when you were made, he says to Shade, you weren't inherently evil.
Shade shakes her head. I was made to corrupt. Lily. But never really got the chance to. Seeing that as soon as she found out about me, she destroyed me along with half a mountain. Next.
The revelation is brutal. Shade was created to destroy Lily, to be her nemesis, a weapon of darkness. But the moment Lily discovered her existence, She erased it violently. Aizawa's eyebrows shoot up. Destroying half a mountain along with an entire being? That's not just self-defense. That's annihilation. Deku pales. No wonder Shade exists now as the embodiment of corruption. Lily must have recreated or reformed her afterward. Maybe because eliminating pure evil isn't that simple. So, you came back? Deku asks gently. After she killed you?
Shade shakes her head again. Three years later, Lily recreated me because she needed my help to save her nephew. Who was a player that somehow got corrupted. By both demonic and darkness. Oh, come on. Hold up. Copy. We'll do this again. Okay, looks like we didn't need to copy it. Okay, it paused on its own. Let's see this again. Voice on.
Ah, so Shade's current form isn't a resurrection. It's a recreation. Lily, in desperate need to save her nephew, likely Rainbow or Ultra, rebuilt the darkness she once destroyed, but this time on her own terms. With control. Aizawa understands now. The first version of Shade was pure corruption by design. This one? A tool shaped by Lily herself. Deku feels a twinge of sympathy for the original evil Shade. She never got to choose anything before being wiped out. So, you're not the same entity as before? He clarifies softly. Just remade?
No, I am. But I now know the truth of my power. You see, we're kind of dealing with the same problem we had with Ryan. But instead of a player who could be easily uninfected. It is now the creator of darkness himself, Void. Though he now goes by demonic Void.
The name Demonic Void sends a chill through the room. This isn't just some random corrupted player anymore. This is Void Steve, the embodiment of darkness itself, reborn as something worse, a true demonic entity. Aizawa tenses. That escalates things catastrophically. Fighting a mere infected person is one thing, but battling a primordial force of evil? That's apocalyptic. Deku remembers how hard it was to fight Nomu or Shigaraki, and Demonic Void sounds infinitely more dangerous. So, you guys are at war with him? He asks, already bracing for grim details about casualties and destruction.
Yes, and the only two people who could destroy him are his son, Ghost, and Equality. Because both wield darkness and light.
Deku's stomach drops. Only Ghost and Equality can destroy Demonic Void. That means the fate of their world rests on two people. One of them a kid, Primary, who isn't even involved in this fight. And the other, well, Shade technically is darkness too, but she wasn't named. Aizawa processes the tactical nightmare. If those two fail, the entire cosmos is doomed. No wonder Lily sent her children away. She probably couldn't risk them being caught in that battle either. Where are they now? Deku asks urgently. Ghost and Equality.
I'm right here, idiot. Equality says, as she waves her hand. And as for Ghost, he has already tried twice and died both times. But due to him being both good and void, he's spirit is stuck in the over world. And if he were to try again, we would lose him completely.
The casual idiot earns a tiny sheepish smile from Deku. Equality isn't offended, just stating facts. But Ghost's situation? Devastating. Twice dead, and now his spirit is trapped in the overworld? That means he can't move on, can't rest, and if he fights again, he'd be gone forever, Aizawa grimaces. Losing someone permanently isn't just tragic, it's a war crime of cosmic proportions. So, equality is the last shot? Deku asks quietly. No pressure or anything. Just literally saving reality as they know it on her shoulders alone.
Yes. Unless me and Lily reunite as one, equality is the last shot.
Deku's breath catches. Reunite as one? That implies Shade and Lily could merge, combining light, darkness, creation, and corruption into a single being strong enough to end demonic void. But that would mean Shade ceasing to exist independently. Aizawa stares at her. That's a massive sacrifice. Giving up your individuality forever? No wonder it hasn't happened yet. Would you do that? Deku asks Shade softly. If it came down to it, the question hangs heavy. Is she willing to erase herself for the sake of victory?
If it's a merge like chaos is. That's when rainbow and dark merge. Then, yes, I would. But it isn't fully my choice. It's Lily's.
So it's not just Shade's decision. The merger would require Lily's consent too, and if she hesitates or refuses, the option doesn't exist. That adds another layer of uncertainty. Aizawa understands now, even if Shade is willing to vanish into Lily, her mother might refuse out of grief, or fear of losing her again. Deku feels a pang for both of them, Shade offering herself up, but powerless without Lily agreeing. Has she said anything about it? He asks carefully. Lily, does she plan to do the merge?
Equality shakes her head. If the three of us were to become one again, it could destroy the world.
Deku's eyes widen. Destroy the world? That flips everything. The merge isn't just risky, it's an extinction-level event if mishandled. Aizawa stiffens, mind racing through worst-case scenarios. 3 cosmic forces combining into one unstable entity? It could implode reality itself, so that option is off the table, he mutters. No wonder Lily hasn't even considered it. With demonic void already tearing things apart, adding world-ending collateral damage isn't worth it, no matter how strong the merged being might be.
And we'll end it there. Goodbye.